Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix for Round 4 of the WDRL Season 3 at Montreal, Canada. Canada is the largest country in the Western Hemisphere and second largest country in the world after Russia. It also borders only one country, the United States of America. Canada also has the longest coastline in the world.
Lights out and away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. Great start there from the Mercedes there, but the McLaren swoops it down the inside. Gets ahead for a moment, but the Mercedes clawing it back and takes the lead of the Grand Prix again. But the McLaren is not letting him go without a fight and gets ahead effortlessly as the Mercedes then gets eaten up by the rest of the pack. The Haas of Lit goes past, and the Alfa Romeo battles slightly as the other Mercedes, Meow, gets past Chris. Chris, a terrible start there, but they all catch up going through the deadly turn 8 as the floor starts to eat away at the drivers, partially encapsulating the McLaren for a moment there. But everyone seems to have made it out all right for the first two sectors of this lap already. Meow leading the Grand Prix now with a pretty healthy gap. Could be better, but is all right. But the McLaren is storming through as we get the game's vision lag. And I think Chris is catching up to Meow. Yeah, Chris is on the back of Meow. And this is a big fight for first. The podium positions are 2/10 away from each other. Pretty close fighting. As down into the first DRS zone, we see the McLaren. They're all right inside of each other. Who's going to come out victorious when the lag subsides?
And just two crashes!
That's a massive crash there, just before the second DRS straight, I think that is.
Safety car now out.
Who's that? Oh, Samuel's out as well. And we see Chris rounding the pack up, getting ready to launch to restart this race. And he's gone. It's green flags now, and Chris has got away pretty cleanly and pretty successfully from the McLaren behind. But the McLaren catching up. And I think the McLaren is ahead. The McLaren is ahead of Chris. That probably pretty cleanly as well.
Large crash from Butter.
It's unfortunate. Oh, we've got another one.
And the Red Bull. Safety car is once again out.
Second time this race. Alright, cheers. Safety car returning to the pits this lap as the pack bunches up for the second time to try and get this race underway. How many laps of clean racing, green flag racing will we get? Let's find out as away they go for the second third time this race, and the McLaren is having a great restart once again. And the two Mercedes drivers are neck and neck as Chris, I think that was, jumps one of the sausage curbs. And so does Bali up in front. Neck and neck, Chris on the rear side of Bali as they go into the DRS zone. Both drivers using DRS. Chris in the slipstream through turn 8 pretty cleanly. There's the Alfa Romeo going wide. I think that's Rose. And they are pretty cleanly into the car eating second DRS curb. Everyone's made it through there cleanly. Now McLaren is fighting with the Mercedes again. How many times have we had this race? Familiar scene, but an exciting one nonetheless. And the Mercedes gets it a bit wide. Meow, that is getting a bit too much throttle on the exit of that corner. Doesn't help him down this straight. Of course, he was slightly in front, so I don't think he got DRS, which is unfortunate, as he has lost time to his teammates as into the next DRS zone, and he's going very wide as the McLaren is falling back, because without the DRS, you are just eaten up by the rest of the pack. And the McLaren...
Oh, it's a large crash from the McLaren. Holy. But that won't be a safety car, or at least I don't think so.
He's jumped the barrier. That's a massive one. He looks to be alright though. Dennis fighting with the Williams. Down into the DRS zone. Dennis using DRS doesn't gain that much. Can they core it through the death corner, as it used to be called, as it still is called, through the two flat out corners? Dennis gets past Jayden, gets a bit.
Oh, Chris is out! What a turn of events! One of the Mercedes is now out of this race.
Looks to be a big crash as well. What's that? 3 wheels detached from the car? That's massive.
Oh,
Another
safety
Mercedes.
car! Bali is out! Those are 2 Mercedes now out of this race. Seems like Mercedes will be missing out on points.
As Dom slows the pack down to restart this race for the 4th time. Well, restart for the 3rd time, but to get under racing for the 4th time. And he's going over to a bridge with deal with Romza right on his rear end. What can Romza do through these 2 corners? Of course, Romza very good with high-speed corners, and Romza's gone a bit wide. Romza has lost a bit of time to Dom. Somehow Romza is a very pointy car, and is just pointing it exactly where he needs it to go, and is getting a massive deal of speed through these corners. Very impressive from the skilled driver there, as we see purple sector after purple sector. But they are two drivers neck and neck on the leaderboard in pace, almost. But Romza is ever so slightly ahead of Dom. Can Romza stay ahead for this final lap? Romza through these corners as Dom gets very squirrely into the DRS straight, not helping his time, his game, his chance at winning. Through Death Corner now, under the bridge, and Dom isn't really gaining that much. We will see. He has gained a lot. I am mistaken, as both drivers make it cleanly through that corner there into the second DRS straight. Dom will have DRS, but Romza will not. What can Romza do through over the bridge? It's a very bouncy bridge. Who is ahead as it comes to the line? Neck and neck photo finish. Dom wins by 2/10.
Here we have the classification for this GP. Dom in first, Romza in second, V6 in third, Rose in fourth, Dennis following in P5, Jayden in P6, Enmate in P7, and Bali, Chris, and Mahir in last. V6 is now in P1 in this Drivers' Championship, followed by Bali, Poke, Dennis, Dominic, ASM, Jayden, Rose, Romza, and Samak, and that is the top 10 for you. Following with the top 20 now, or the following, is Mikey, Thea, Bolalan, Butter, Officer, Farid, Pirvana, EDM, Enmate, and Luke. And here's a little look at the Constructors' Championship. We have Mercedes in first, Ferrari following second, McLaren in third, Williams fourth, Haas in fifth, Rotos in sixth, Alfa Romeo seventh, Red Bull in eighth, AlphaTauri in ninth, and Alpine last in P10.